All right, back for another beer review, and today I'll be reviewing yet another beer from the Fidens Brewing Company, and they're out of Colony, New York, and this is their Jasper with Nelson. So they're calling this one a Double IPA that is brewed with Citra and Nelson Solvent hops. It comes in at 7.9% alcohol by volume. No IBUs listed in time of review. This can is approximately 5 weeks old. I want to give a huge thanks and shout out once again to a very good friend of mine and fellow BeerTuber, Kyle, over at No Hype Beer Reviews for hooking me up with this one. In the description box, I'll post a link to Kyle's channel along with the beer mail unboxing video I did that contains all the Fidens goodies he hooked me up with. He hooked me up with 4 different Fidens beers. I've already reviewed the first of the bunch, which was their Eugene's Axe. Really tasty. This is the second one, and if you're not a subscriber or viewer of Kyle's channel, highly recommend going over there, checking out his content. Great guy. Despite the name of his channel, he does get his hands on some very hyped and delicious beers. So great guy though, very generous, hooking me up with Fidens. What more can I say? So this is a variant of their Jasper, and their Jasper is a 7.8% double IPA that they brew with strictly Citra hops. This is that beer, but they add a Nelson Solvent into the dry hop, and that's pretty much all I got for you. Around 5 weeks old, and I'm into it. So let's crack this one open, see what we got going on here. The Eugene's Axe is really good. The mouthfeel, top notch. The beer itself, a little bit of a letdown from the nose to the taste, but still really delicious. And this is very thick. This is almost like pouring out like an orange juice. It's crazy. It looks beautiful though in the glass. Very similar to the Eugene's Axe. Maybe the Eugene's Axe was maybe a little bit more darker, and maybe not. I don't know. Very similar. So on camera it's going to be dulled out, but in person it has this dark orange. Not super dark orange, but like more of a milky dark orange kind of vibe to a little bit of yellow in there. Has about a finger of an off-white creamy looking head. Yeah, kind of like I said, looks very similar to Eugene's Axe, maybe slightly different, but very reminiscent. Let's get a nose. Yeah, it smells awesome. So the white wine, white grape thing coming from Nelson, it's not, to me, like overboard. It's not overdone right now in the aroma. But I can definitely tell you there's more of like a white grape kind of component here. Maybe a little bit of white wine, touch of gooseberry, something like that. But underneath, to me, there is a shit ton of like sweet OJ and peach gummy rings, like candied gummy rings, but sweet, juicy orange juice underneath that. It's fantastic. It melds so well with that like white grape character. Oh, man. There's almost, my palate, my snifter might be broken, but there's almost a minty vibe. I almost never say this. A lot of people say they'll take a sip of a beer like this and they'll say it's kind of like the sensation of taking a swig of OJ after brushing your teeth, that like minty kind of, I'm getting that in the nose. Like I never get that in the taste, almost never in the nose, but I'm getting that in the nose. Like it just has like a slight like minty, yeah, like a menthol-esque type of thing going on. Just very slight. Little bit of like over-ripened, like honeydew melon, papaya. This is full-on fruit to me. There is maybe a slight like earthy hop component. There's really no dankness or herbaceousness that I'm really getting off the nose. It smells fucking good. It smells really good, making my mouth water. So let's get into it. Cheers, everybody. Thanks again, Kyle. That's really nice. That's real nice. Yeah, I'll do the Kyle thing, like shaking my head because I just stare at it. Delicious. Like he doesn't say anything. You can just tell when Kyle likes a beer, he just starts doing the head shake. You know it's a delicious beer. So I can say, having 2 Fidens beers now, the bodies and mouthfeel, they're killing it. This is like higher side of medium body, which is perfect for something that's 7.9%, like a medium to medium, or upper high medium body is really proper for what I'm looking for. And then the mouthfeel, it's super soft, and it's so soft and smooth. These to me aren't necessarily like super creamy, but they're so smooth on the palate. They're so easy to drink. Like mouthfeel wise, they're very akin to a Treehouse or an Other Half. I think Other Half maybe a little bit more creaminess, but like Treehouse is kind of in this realm where it's so soft and smooth and inviting. You would want to drink this beer just for the body and mouthfeel alone. Sans flavors, just that's how fun of a mouthfeel this is. Taste though, for the first time ever, I'm getting that minty OJ thing. I shouldn't say for first time ever. First time ever, maybe on camera, maybe for reviewing, and I've been reviewing beer for like over about 3.5 years now, and I can't remember saying that. I see so many of my friends mention that in reviews, and I get what they're saying because I think almost everyone has had some OJ after brushing their teeth, but I've never specifically gotten it in hop forward beers, even though it's something that everyone says is there, and I just don't get it. I'm getting it in here, and it's not huge, but it's definitely noticeable. But right at the forefront, there's a sweeter OJ vibe that's unmistakable. Then there's not as much of a peach gummy ring, but more of like just a ripe peach that is juicy and just has a great peach character. That hits me right at the forefront. As it passes through, there's this white wine, white grape thing that kind of hits mid-palate. That's probably from the Nelson for me. And it's mixing in with that OJ with that underlying minty sensation. And it's weird, but it works in some way for me. This finish is semi to full-on dry. This is a very mild bitterness. This is not as bitter as Eugene's Axe, although Eugene's Axe wasn't all that bitter, but it was kind of like right in between mild and moderate. To me, this is a moderate, a mild bitterness here, where that was more approaching moderate. There's an underlying earthiness, maybe a touch of an herbaceousness, maybe a slight basil thing. I think I like this better than Eugene's Axe. How much more? I don't know, but that beer was really good, but I felt like the nose didn't exactly translate into the taste. It like was dialed back like 10 to 20%. This one, the nose pretty much carried over the taste, maybe a little bit more on that OJ minty thing, but I think I'm getting the Nelson, I'm getting the Citra, and there is this really nice semi to full-on dry finish on the back of the palate. Makes me want to go back for more. Yeah, this is definitely better than Eugene's Axe for me. Rating for this one. I think I have no problems giving Jasper with Nelson from Fidens a straight 4.5 out of 5. I think that's what it deserves. I gave Eugene's Axe a 4.35 or 4.3, somewhere in that realm. This is definitely better than that beer for me personally. I am now curious to see what the base Jasper has for me. I did this one before the base Jasper, because the base Jasper is super fresh. Right now, as I'm reviewing this, it's like 10 days old. I want to wait until about the 3-week mark, 3.5-week mark to drink that one. I didn't really say anything in the taste. There is a little bit of like a hot burn green astringency as I continue to drink it on the back of the palate. So maybe super fresh, that was more in your face, probably was the case. For me though, it's kind of settling in. I think in another week or two, that will be totally gone. I don't know what the rest of the beer will drink like, but there's just a little bit on the back of the palate. It's not overly green, but it's definitely noticeable to some degree. So 4.5 out of 5 for Jasper with Nelson from Fidens. The one thing that impresses me from them, and it's hard, I'm nobody. I'm just a dude on YouTube that reviews beer, but I will say it's hard for beers to impress me now that are hazies. Fidens has gotten a lot of hop in the last, or a lot of hype in the last year. And it's really hard for me to get super excited about hazies because there's so many good breweries out there producing awesome hazy beers. But I will say their bodies and mouthfeels, and specifically the mouthfeels, have impressed me quite a bit. It's awesome. It's fantastic. The taste, really good too, but the mouthfeels are just top notch. So 4 out of 5 for this one. Price and availability, these are $5.50 a can, I believe. So $22 a 4-pack, although they sell them at single cans at the brewery, which is awesome. So you don't have to buy an entire 4-pack. You can buy 3 cans. You can buy 6 cans, whatever the limit is. And the availability for this is my first beer review. I think I've said this, I don't know when you're going to see the other review, but I had the same issue I did in Vanilla Bean Space and Time from Treehouse. First beer of the day. Same thing here. I typically drink 1 beer, sometimes 2 in a day. And this is the first one, and I'm like just stumbling over my words. I don't know. Maybe I'm having some issues over here. But the availability for this one is brewery only. I don't think they make it in any of the local bottle shops, and you have to drive to the brewery. I think they sell them on Saturdays and Wednesdays, and you kind of have to line up for them in your car and whatnot. But yeah, I'd say a beer like this is worth it because it's delicious. It's really good. It's not like a mind-blowing, just out of this world beer for me, but a 4.5 out of 5 would indicate it is a fucking delicious, tasty, fantastic beer. So thanks again to Kyle for hooking me up with this one. Like I said, go check out his channel. I have 2 more from them. Their base Jasper, and then I have their necessary means for necessary means. I cannot wait to get in those. I'm going to wait a couple weeks to do so, but yeah, Fidens is 2 for 2 basically. So they're living up to the hype. So if you've had this one before, let me know what you think about it. Appreciate everybody stopping by for another beer review here on the Beer Patrol. To the next, oh yeah, I didn't even mention the ABV, 7.9%. Sure, I can tell this is a 7.5%, 8% double / regular IPA. There's really no astringency on the palate. There's not even a warming in the chest or anything, so hides the alcohol relatively well for something that is pushing 8%. So till the next one, cheers.